annual Wrightstown High School Veterans Day ceremony will begin in the next 5 minutes. Please find a comfortable seat, silence your phones. The Irving Clister American Legion Post 436 will present colors and signal the start of our ceremony in the next 5 minutes. Students, at this time, if you have a thank you card for a veteran that you received this morning, or you made yourself, please feel free to stand up and walk down to a veteran on the floor and hand them a card and say thank you. This event is known as Mail Call in the Military. Mail is an important resource for military personnel because it connects them to loved ones and allows them to learn about and participate in events at home. It is okay if each veteran receives multiple letters, but please try to make sure that all veterans are receiving a card. All right, please bring your fingers back. At this time, please rise as the Wrightstown Urban Twister American Legion Post 436 presents and posts the colors. Please remain standing through the following ceremonies: the POW MIA Committee Chair Ceremony, the Pledge of Allegiance, and a national anthem.
Colors, post. Colors, post. Breathe in. Two. Follow.
Please remain standing as the Wrightstown senior student, Jameson Lefevre, completes the Prisoners of War and Missing in Action Empty Chair ceremony. Good Good morning, everyone. Before we begin today's Veterans Day ceremony, we take a moment to honor a very special group of heroes. Those who are prisoners of war and those who are still missing in action. Across America, at every meeting of the American Legion, you'll find an empty chair. This chair serves as a silent reminder that many of our fellow citizens are still unaccounted for, missing in action. They are prisoners of war, missing in action, or those who have never returned home. They are unable to be with us today, so we remember them, their sacrifice, their courage, and their families who still wait for an answer. As you can see right here. This chair is left empty to remind us that freedom has a price, and that some have paid more for that than others. We remember their unwavering bravery in the face of unimaginable challenges. We honor their devotion to duty, and we pledge to keep them in our hearts until the day they all come home. Let us take a moment of silent reflection to remember that those missing, those captured, and those who gave everything in these service to our nation. Until they return home, this chair will remain empty. We will never forget them. Thank you. Please continue standing, cross your heart with your right hand, and join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now, please keep your heart crossed with your right hand. Military members and veterans may render a hand salute and stand while we welcome our Wrightstown Choir in playing of the national anthem. You all here for our fourth annual Wrightstown Veterans Day Assembly. It's an honor to be standing here today helping our Wrightstown community come together to celebrate our veterans. As a fellow veteran, I look forward to this day every year. The outpouring of support on display in our communities and throughout our nation serves as a reminder that despite our divisions and separations, we can all unite in recognizing the valued sacrifices of our veterans. Now, this year I want to try something new, something to try and wake us up to the military way. We're going to do a practice cadence small, and Brooke is going to do one a little bit later. This requires everyone to buy into this. I'm going to walk us through the steps. I'm going to say something, and you all, students especially, veterans, you know what a cadence is. You're going to say whatever I tell you to say after. So I'm going to say, here we go, and you all are going to say 1, 2. And then we're going to follow it up and say, keep it up. You all say 3, 4. I'm going to say, gotta get. You all say a high five. And I'm going to say, that's so. And I'm going to follow it up with 6, 7. Thank you. And then, I love it. I knew the middle school was good. High school was we're then going to close it out by doing a repeat. I'm going to say thank the veteran, and you all are going to repeat with thank the veteran. So let's give it a shot. Again, everyone, please follow me. I'm going to say here we go. You say 1, 2. When I say keep it up, 3, 4. Gotta get a high five. That's so 6, 7. Thank the veteran. Thank the veteran. Are we ready? Feel free to copy them, my students. All right, let's give it a shot. Here we go. 1, 2. Keep it up. 3, 4. Gotta get. High five. That's so. 6. Thank the veteran. Thank the veteran. Wonderful. Awesome. That's what I'm talking about. That went much better than I expected. Please give our local veterans and yourselves a round of applause. World War I on November 11, 1918. That day, the guns went silent after years of fighting. In 1954, after World War II and the Korean War, it officially became Veterans Day, honoring all who have served, past and present, in every branch of the armed forces. Following those 2 world wars and the Korean War, our nation called upon its sons and daughters to fight in Vietnam, Latin America, Iraq, Afghanistan, and around the world for the global war against terrorism. Altogether, these conflicts account for more than 50 of our past 100 years of history. There have been more than 625,000 Americans who have lost their lives in these conflicts, and more than 1.2 million have been wounded, living every day with the lasting effects and injuries of war. But these aren't just numbers. They're remarkable stories of teachers, farmers, mechanics, parents, and students who raised their hand and said, I will defend the Constitution of the United States of America. Veterans Day reminds us that freedom isn't free, and gratitude should never be silent. Now, all veterans at some point have to go through the embarrassing phase of being a young recruit in basic training. Many recruits are not too far off high school, similar in their taste to all of our students here. When I was in basic training, we frequently would need to find time to break away from the day-to-day boring life of being a soldier. Like trying to skip out of class on a bathroom break to go check your phone. Lately, our home state has been in the news thanks to the new ban on screens, like cell phones in our classrooms. You might think it's just to keep students focused, but there's another reason, one that my unit figured out when I was in the military and basic training. In 2009, during basic training, there was one rule that we had about phones. We were not allowed to have them at all. But after Christmas break, one sneaky soldier brought their phone back and a second phone. They turned in their old phone but kept their working phone. During one of our 5-night field training exercises, where we couldn't take a shower until we finished the 5 nights in the tents, we couldn't return to the warm, comfortable beds, we couldn't take one of those cold showers for 5 nights. It was the last day of this exercise, and this soldier had been going to use their phone all the time. But But this time was different. They went to the porta potty. We're only a few hours from our first cold showers, mind you. And so in this porta potty, where all great life decisions start, this soldier was overly tired. And the thing about basic, just like all of you students here, is you're kind of trained to fall asleep anywhere you can. So there he is, scrolling away on his forbidden phone, and he falls asleep in a porta potty that's empty once every 3 months. When he woke up, the phone was gone. Instead of just taking the L though, he made the worst possible decision. He told the drill sergeant. Now this drill sergeant, as an Iraq war veteran, wasn't about to dig through the porta potty. Instead, he ordered the entire platoon to design a device to fish it out, and nobody was allowed to go back to the barracks on that final night until they did so. His platoon finally returned around midnight with fresh uniforms on, but the mud was still under their fingertips. I was fortunate again to not be in that platoon. So students, the moral of that story, don't use your phones when you're hiding out in the bathroom during class. Because if you drop it in the wrong place, you might have to explain it to Principal Ward and Bobby Sue while they watch you plunge it out. Now, here in Wrightstown, I'm fortunate to share these funny stories from my military experiences with our local American Legion veterans. And these are veterans around our community. They play a vital role in keeping our patriotism high and our pride strong. You see it every Friday night when our local American Legion veterans stand on the football field, hoisting the flag for everyone to see. You see it when they help out our scouts, retire our worn flags with respect, or when they place new flags on the graves of fallen veterans every Memorial Day with our high school volunteers. They're not just showing pride, though. They're showing commitment. And last weekend, one of them went above and beyond to help me. During our flag retirement ceremony, I parked my car a little too close to the fire. Before I could realize it, one of the Legion members came rushing in like a quick reaction force. He said, "Hey, Sergeant Erickson, don't move your car. It's going to smell like a burn barrel. It's going to look like it was deployed to Afghanistan with you." So thanks to him, I was able to save my car and my dignity. And those types of memories and stories only really happen because we've built a strong connection with our Legion members here in Wrightstown. So I'm honored every day to celebrate Veterans Day with these Legion members here, having built such a great relationship with the members over the years. It makes me proud to be a veteran and realize that Veterans Day is not just about looking back, it's about how we move forward together. When we pause for this day, we're not just remembering wars fought long ago, we're recognizing the values veterans bring home. Duty, teamwork, courage, and selfless service. Those same values are what makes our schools stronger, our neighborhoods safer, and our country more unified. Every veteran in this room, and every family member connected to one, reminds us what it means to serve something bigger than just yourselves. You don't have to wear a uniform to do that. You serve when you help a teammate, when you volunteer, when you stand up for what's right, when you give your best effort, even when no one's watching. So when you see our flag rise, or see our American Legion veterans out at the football field raising it high, please remember, they're showing us what commitment looks like, what it means to live with purpose. And that's what this day is really about. Honoring those who serve, learning from them, and carrying their example forward. Veterans Day is also about leadership and service, though, and that's exactly what our next speaker represents. Next, we're going to hear from one of our own students, Jameson the Beaver, who had the opportunity this summer, thanks to our local American Legion veterans, to take part in the government experience at UW-Eau Claire. So let's please give a round of applause for our American Legion and a warm welcome to Jameson.
Good morning. Thank you all for having me here today. As you already know, I was selected as Wrightstown's representative to Wisconsin's Badger Boys State. Badger Boys State is a week-long government simulation that teaches you the value of a good citizen, how the local governments in America operate, So to combat this, they created Badger and other boys' stage programs to nurture the ideals of democracy in American youth. And there are girls' stage programs now as well. I was given this honor by the Wrightstown American Legion and am forever thankful for them aiding me in becoming a better citizen of this great nation. Furthermore, I am thankful for all who have served and sacrificed, like those in front of me, to uphold the ideas of our nation, freedom, liberty, and justice for all. Returning to the stage, one of our prodigals, Mr. Harris.
Now, please turn your attention to the Wrightstown High School Band as they perform America the Beautiful, followed by God Bless America. During our next section, we will be acknowledging the individual veterans in attendance today. Each veteran that signed in today will have their name, their branch of service, and years of service read. Veterans, when your name is read, please feel free to stand up to receive recognition. Students and all in attendance, please hold your applause until all the names have been read. Now, I would like to introduce to you the adjutant of the Wrightstown Urban Clister American Legion Post 436, Tom Clancy, to announce the names of the veterans in attendance.
Good morning. First off, when I call your name, please stand up. Derek Harrison, Army, 2009-2013, Afghanistan. PFC Hansen, Army Reserves, currently serving. Lucas Stromby, Air Force, 1994 to 1997, Saudi Arabia. Henry O'Lilla, Marine, 1957 to 1960. Ralph Young, Army, 1961 to 1964. Jerry Cabot, Army, 1969 to 1971. Eugene Thiem, Army, 1967 to 1970, Vietnam. Eric Bumana, Army, 2002 to 2008, Iraq. Roger Staley, Army, 1961 to 1964, Cuban Missile Crisis, Korea. Virgil Baumeister, Air Force, 1967 to 1971, Vietnam. Tom Franklin, Army, 1968 to 1971. Melissa Barker, Navy, 1994 to 2000, Persian Gulf. Gary Barker, Navy, 1980 to 2003, Desert Shield, Desert Storm. Justin Smith, Navy, 2000 to 2005. Paul Bunting, Air Force, 1966 to 1970, Vietnam. Joe King, Navy, 1981 to 1988. Star First Class Tanner, Army, 2002, current. Olivia Bloma, Army Reserve, 2021 to current. Mike Pendleton, Army, 1960. Jordy Van Handel, Army, 1969 to 1971, Vietnam. Wilbur Van Holt, Army, 1970 to 1972. Butchman Roswell, Army, 1963 to 1965, Vietnam. Leonard Bickman, Army, 1965 to 1968. Dean Lusk, Air Force, 1965 to 1969, Vietnam. Doug Minke, Army, 2004 to 2010. Al Minke, Marine, 1952 to 1992. Lisa Erickson, Navy, 1986 to 1990. Joseph Van Dyke, Army, 1969 to 1970, Vietnam. Bob Wicker, Army, 1963 to 1965. Myself, Army, 1985 to 2006, Iraq, Afghanistan. Rick Robsenberg, Army, 1968 to 1971, Vietnam. Gary Nelson, Army, 1975 to 1979. David Kavanaugh, Army, 1997 to 2020, Iraq, Egypt. Jerry Kavanaugh, Army, 1966 to 1972. Mark Erickson, Navy, 1987 to 1997, Desert Storm. Joseph Renz, Navy, 2000 to 2020, Iraqi Freedom, Iraq Operating Enduring Freedom. Jesse Vester, Army, 2003 to 2025, Iraq Operation Iraqi Freedom, Operation Enduring Freedom, Operation Atlantic Resolve, Operation Sentinel, South Korea, Talisman Saber. Brian Jane, Navy, 1966, 1972, Vietnam. Charles Fritzel, Army, 1993 to 1994, Persian Gulf War. Randy Brandeis, Army, 1968 to 1969, Vietnam. Thank you for your service.
The Armed Forces Medley, sometimes known as the Armed Forces Salute, is a collection of the official songs of the military branches of the United States. Now, please turn your attention to the Wrightstown High School Choir as they perform the Armed Forces Medley. Veterans in attendance, if able, please stand when your branch of service is being sung.
Technical
It is my privilege today to introduce our next speaker, who is a special future veteran, one that many of you know personally. Brooke Hansen, who is a senior student here at Wrightstown High School, has made it clear how much she looks forward to a life of service when I met her here 3 years ago. This past summer, she took on Army basic training at Fort Jackson and emerged a more proficient leader and a member of our community. Brooke exemplifies many of the leadership qualities the Army looks for in soldiers, but most obvious is selfless service. Brooke consistently goes above and beyond to ensure that not just her teammates, but her community and her local veterans are put above her own self-interests. It's been an honor to watch Brooke flourish as our local American Legion meetings, where she connects and builds lifelong friendships with fellow military members. Without her assistance, this assembly also would have been infinitely more difficult. So please help me say thanks by joining me with a round of applause and welcoming Private First Class Brooke Hansen to share her experiences with us.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Veterans Day. As Mr. Erickson said, my name is Brooke Hansen. I'm a senior here at Wrightstown High School, and I am currently serving in the Army Reserves. I was at basic all summer, and I want to start my speech off with something we did all the time while I was there. Well, now, Mr. Erickson taught you the basics of a cadence, something called a counting cadence. Well, now we're going to do a regular cadence with words, one we sing a lot while in basic. It does become a mouthful at the end, just a warning. Everyone is welcome to join in. So with this one, it's a little different from Mr. Erickson. It's not going to be where you say something different from what I say. You're going to copy the exact same words that I just said. Everybody ready? All right. There's a hole, there's a hole. There's a hole, there's a hole. There's a hole in the bottom of the sea. There's a hole in the bottom of the sea. There's a log, there's a log. There's a log, there's a log. There's a log in the hole in the bottom of the sea. There's a log in the hole in the bottom of the sea. There's a branch, there's a branch. There's a branch, there's a branch. There's a branch on the log in the hole in the bottom of the sea. There's a branch on the log in the hole in the bottom of the sea. There's a frog, there's a frog. There's a frog, there's a frog. There's a frog on the branch on the log in the hole in the bottom of the sea. There's a frog on the branch on the log in the hole in the bottom of the sea. There's a wart, there's a wart. There's a wart, there's a wart. There's a wart on the frog on the branch on the log in the hole in the bottom of the sea. There's a wart on the frog on the branch on the log in the bottom of the sea. There's a flea, there's a flea. There's a flea, there's a flea. There's a flea on the wart on the frog on the branch on the log in the hole in the bottom of the sea. Alright, that was pretty good. Now, these cadences are a big thing in basic training. It shows us how to work as a team. It seems silly, but it really does. Now, we all know that today is Veterans Day. And today is the day that we honor the men and women who have worn our nation's uniform, those who have stood ready to defend freedom, protect our brothers and sisters, and serve something bigger than themselves. And as I said earlier, this past summer, I got a small glimpse into what that's really mean. I spent 10 very long weeks at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, completing basic combat training. This experience changed the way I see our country's veterans, our active military members, and what service really is. At basic, I learned that being a soldier isn't all about being super strong or athletic. It's about the values that the Army instills in us. The Army expects each of its soldiers to uphold their set of values: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. Over the course of the 10 weeks I was at Fort Jackson, I watched those values come alive in the people that I was surrounded by. Loyalty. I saw this come alive after that very first week, after everyone got to know everyone. I realized very quickly that the people standing to my left and right, although different from me way home. Duty. This was doing what needed to be done, even when you were exhausted from the day of training you had. I can remember many nights that all of us were staying up way past lights out to help clean up the day. Another thing I can remember is I had a battle buddy who was struggling a lot in our last march of basic, the weight of the ruck being too much. So I rushed up with my heavier ruck on, right up behind her, grabbed the back of her ruck, and took as much of the weight off of her body as possible. Respect. Now that was everything. I especially saw that from one of my drill sergeants, Drill Sergeant Woodward. She respected every one of us trainees, no matter how horrible we were acting. She especially treated those of us who pushed through, no matter the situations we were put in. Selfless service. This showed up in little ways, like one of my battle buddies joining me in push-ups when I had to do over 100 just for a couple of letters from my family. Or sharing water from our canteens during our last ruck because we were all almost out. This was us remembering why we were there. Remembering the soldiers that were there before us, the ones that would come after us. Remembering our why. Honoring our country, our family, and so much more. Integrity. Doing the right thing even when no one was looking. This didn't mean sneaking packets of peanut butter into the bag for a late-night snack and hoping you didn't get caught by the drill sergeants. It was being the person your drills could rely on to lead your group. I was shown that integrity is noticed a lot. Personal courage. This one really hits home to me. Basic training wasn't just about facing the physical challenges, which, by the way, there was a lot. It was about pushing through fear, homesickness, and so much self-doubt. About finding strength to keep going, even when you didn't think you could. By the end of those 10 weeks, I realized something. The Army doesn't just train soldiers. It builds people with character. Those 7 Army values don't end when the uniform comes off. They stay with you for life. And today, as we recognize our veterans, I see those same values reflected in the school. In our teachers, our classmates, and especially the students that we honor next. The students receiving this award have shown the values that all branches of the military want their personnel to represent well. This award is a twist on words. At basic training, soldiers were up to be selected for Soldier Leader of the Cycle. These soldiers were selected for their ability to lead and uphold these values throughout basic. When I call your name, please stand up and stay standing until all names are called. After the ceremony is done, please find Mr. Erickson around for your award. I please ask the audience to hold your applause until all names are called. Daniel Bunton, Nolan Watska, Samuel Lappin, Jules Capel, Megan Straubel, Ezra Lappin, Jacob Van Dyke, Michael Bessel, Brody Wilson, Ryan Lemke, Esme Bereza, and Jaden Burns. Now, these students were nominated by teachers because these teachers believed they represented at least one of the 7 Army values. We made that twist on words. It's going to be Student Leader of the Year because in basic it's Soldier Leader of the Cycle. Well, we don't really have a cycle of basic training. So each of these students represented at least one, if not more than one, of the 7 Army values. Congratulations to these students and thank you for your leadership.
Now, please turn your attention back to the Wrightstown High School Choir as they perform American Tears by Teresa McGinnis.
In 2016, the Veterans Day Moment of Silence Act became public law. Designed to bring Americans together and provide an opportunity to reflect on veterans who have touched their lives. On November 11th, all Americans are invited to participate in the observance of a 2-minute national moment of silence. Taking the time to pause quietly and join your thoughts with thousands of other Americans is a great way to ensure you remember the purpose of Veterans Day. During this time, our local Wrightstown Urban Clister American Legion Honor Guard will march outside into an adjacent field to complete a 3-volley salute, commonly mistaken as a 21-gun salute. The 3-volley salute consists of no less than 3 and no more than 7 rifles firing 3 volleys in memory of the fallen. The firing of the 3 volleys over the grave of a fallen warrior has its origins in the old custom of halting the fighting to remove the dead from the battlefield. Once the killed in action were removed, 3 musket volleys were fired as a signal that the battle could resume. Typically, 3 fired cartridges are placed into the folded flag to the presentation of the next of kin. The cartridges signify duty, honor, and sacrifice. Following the 3-volley salute will be the playing of taps by Wrightstown High School trumpeter Jackson Vincent. Today, taps is sounded as the final call every evening on military installations
and military duties. In 2012, Congress recognized TAPS as the National Song of Remembrance. Please join me now by standing for this moment of silence. The three volley salutes and TAPS. All right, now please. And a reminder that the three volley shot will be relatively loud. Thank you, and please take your seats. I urge you to continue sharing your experiences, spreading your valuable knowledge, and helping to sustain a lovely country. We are now at the close of our ceremony, but before we depart, I would like to give a few special thank yous. First, to the Wrightstown Urban Clister American Legion Post 436 for their continued dedication to our community. We could not have organized this event without each and every one of you. To the Wrightstown Band and Choir for their outstanding performances on a tight schedule. Thank you for taking this program to the next level. And to our Wrightstown School District custodial staff as well. You've been vital to taking a vision and making it a reality. And finally, for the reason we are all here today, to all of our veterans, to our fallen brothers and sisters, to those who have paved the path for us, who truly define what it means to be an American. Thank you and happy Veterans Day. To finish our ceremony, please stand and remove your hats as the Urban Clister American Legion retires to public. I will dismiss the student body after.
Colors, retreat. Colors, right and left face. Whoop. Forward, punch.
Thank you. Students, you will now be returning to your scheduled classes. We'll let the middle school be released first. Please